So let's dive into some of the details of this new executive order. Many of the more at-risk Michiganders for COVID-19, elderly, disabled, they can't cut their own lawns. Some Metro Detroit cities, however, say they plan to enforce their ordinances because lack of landscaping can lead to rodents, storm drain backups, flooding, etc. So what are people supposed to do when landscaping isn't allowed, but they can face fines? And is there any ramifications for cities?
Well, local governments shouldn't be giving people fines during this time. We are in a state of emergency. I have issued an executive order. It's not a suggestion, it's an order. We want people to observe it. And the fact of the matter is, I understand people are eager to have their lawns cut. And if you're able to take care of your lawn yourself, you can still go ahead and do that. Just stay 6 feet away from anybody else who's out there. But if you are someone that hires it out, we don't want to expose that crew that would have to be out in public, that would have to go to the gas station, that would have to stop for a bite to eat, that would have to find a restroom, to be out and about. We're exposing the lowest wage people in our state who don't have health care, who don't have paid sick leave, to the greatest risk of COVID-19 spreading. And that's precisely the kind of activity that is not life-sustaining, that must cease. In the last 24 hours, since I introduced the Stay Home, Stay Safe extension, we've lost 206 Michiganders. The high water mark until that point had been 118. This is a huge jump. A lot more people have died in just the last 24 hours. We have to take these social distancing measures seriously.
New restrictions on travel also is included in this order between two residences. How will this be enforced, say, for people wanting to head up north? Will we see checkpoints, and is it up to local law enforcement to enforce that part?
The enforcement part is always tricky. We're a state of 10 million people, and we're a state that boasts some of the finest freshwater lakes in the world. We're very fortunate, and people who are lucky enough to have a second home are asked not to go there for the next 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks, and I understand that this is an inconvenience for people, but the more people that are on the road, the more people at the gas station touching that gas pump, the more people that are picking up a bite to eat on the way. It is non-essential travel, and it's got to stop. And here's another reason why. They see that the head of hospitals in northern Michigan, I've spoken with them, they have said, please discourage people from coming up here. We are not built out for the type of capacity that an influx of residents who might possibly be bringing with and spreading COVID-19 would create. We all need to stay in place. The science is real. Dr. Fauci has said it over and over again. Right now, in this moment, we must continue to double down on these strict mitigation strategies. And that's precisely what the Stay Home, Stay Safe order is. You don't need to be traveling to that second home. It's an inconvenience to be sure, but I'm talking about 3 weeks here. Let's double down and flatten our curve.
For gardens as well, and, we have the landscaping, but gardens as well. Many of these garden companies sell what's needed for people to grow their own food, seeds, plants, vegetables. Can they sell these things for curbside pickup? What do you say to that?
We had to design the executive order so it was very clear that we don't want people leaving their homes unless they're going to pick up food or prescriptions or they have a healthcare appointment. The fact of the matter is, going to Home Depot and picking up a bunch of garden supplies sounds like a fine idea when you're at home and you're looking at all of these projects you want to tackle. But the more people that are out, the more likely COVID-19 is going to continue to spread. It's more people touching that gas pump. I keep focusing on the gas pump, but here's why. COVID-19, the virus, the germs can stay alive for 3 days, so 72 hours. So you think about how many people touch that gas pump in a 72-hour period, that they're all contaminating one another. You pick up your phone, you just put it all over your face, you're bringing it into your house. Even if you're wearing gloves, the odds of cross-contamination are very high, and that's why we've got to limit trips to things that are really essential. And redoing your flooring or putting in your garden right now is not essential, and so we're curtailing that as well.
You've said that the worst of COVID-19 in the state will be at the same time as the stay-at-home order expires. So will we likely see an extension to this order? And if so, is this order giving false hope? And what are the metrics What's the threshold for you lifting this order?
All depends on if everyone does their part. The more people that take this very seriously and do their part, the shorter period of time that we are going to have to be in this kind of aggressive posture. The more people that take this seriously, the fewer lives are going to be lost. And so that's precisely why we have to be really aggressive now. My hope is that on April 30th, we can really talk about how to safely re-engage parts of our economy. We don't want to be in this posture forever. But if everyone does their part, we can make sure that we don't have to be. Seeing the curve, flatten, seeing that we've got enough testing so we know who's sick and who's not sick, and we can really have confidence in the models. The April 30th, early May model is based on people not following the order. If we do, we can see that curve change dramatically and see a leveling off, and that would make it more safe for us to engage certain sectors of our economy. And so there are a lot of different data points that we've got to see in order to know that it's safe to resume some normalcy. But right now we are in the thick of it. 206 people died in the last 24 hours. The high water mark before that was 118. This is a dramatic increase in just the last 24 hours, and that's precisely why we got to keep taking this very seriously.
At least one church that's committed to holding Easter service this weekend, and they have been holding Sunday services. There goes my laundry, sorry. We know that they are exempt from the enforcement of the order, but is it wise for people to be gathering like this in this holiday?
It's really important, that we all observe the stay-home order, and subjecting other people to risking their lives is just downright dangerous, irresponsible, and frankly, it's infuriating. This is a serious time. Faith is an important aspect of getting through a crisis. There's no question. It's hard for folks. But now is the time to make use of technology. Now is the time to have the introspection and to be mindful of what Easter means, right? This is a moment to acknowledge that we've got to make some sacrifice here for the greater good of Michigan and our loved ones. And this is an opportunity to do the right thing. So it is my fervent hope that this does not occur on Sunday, because it is reckless and it is dangerous, and it's only going to prolong the suffering that we're confronting as a state.
Governor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.